Good morning, everyone. Is my audio and video clear? Please let me know in the comment section. Good morning, Manish, Prachi, Anurag, Chetan, Anurag. Good morning, everyone. Kaustav, good morning. Oh, good morning, Rahul. Good morning. Okay, fine. Clear? ठीक है. A very good morning to everyone watching this video. I am Manoj Sharma from Oliveboard and I'm here with the live mint analysis that we do every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. This is important for all regulatory exams, and so we take up a few articles and we discuss with the static portion, we discuss it in detail. Okay, so let's begin. Uh, if you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Oliveboard app. Just go on the app, and there's going to be a separate courses section. From there, you can download the YouTube class PDFs from this folder of YouTube class PDFs. Okay, so let's not waste time and let's begin with our session. The first important news that we have, or the article that we have, is India's economic strategy should take the big picture into account. So this is a view, this is a kind of article which has been written. Let's see what this talks about. यहाँ पे क्या कह रहे हैं, that India should adopt a broader long-term economic strategy that includes a robust industrial policy for local manufacturing. अब given our geopolitical tensions, अब हमें पता है, that we are, everybody in this whole world is facing geopolitical tensions. Then we have Donald Trump's tariffs. We have, right? Because of this, there is very unprecedented situation in the entire globe. Right, so now what this article is very inclined towards what India's strategy should be. So ये आपका आंसर राइटिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ये आर्टिकल इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा, जहां पे आप इसमें से कुछ पॉइंट्स उठा के लिख सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चन आता है रिलेटेड टू विकसित भारत कि व्हाट शुड इंडिया डू टू बिकम अ विकसित भारत बाय द ईयर 2047, तो इस टाइप का स्ट्रैटेजी यू कैन राइट डाउन दैट इंडिया नीड्स टू अडॉप्ट अ ब्रॉडर लॉन्ग टर्म इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रैटेजी that includes a robust industrial policy for local manufacturing. अब यहाँ पे इस आर्टिकल में कंपेयर किया गया है इंडियाज पोस्ट 1991 इकोनॉमिक पाथ विद चाइनाज. सो वी आर कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग विद चाइना एंड वी आर सीइंग दैट व्हाट कि हमने कमी मतलब इंडिया में कमी क्या रह गई थी, दैट चाइना इज सो वेल डेवलप्ड इन दैट केस एंड इंडिया स्टिल लेफ्ट बिहाइंड इन दैट एस्पेक्ट. तो यहाँ पे उसकी बात की गई है कि जो पोस्ट 1991 का जो इकोनॉमिक पाथ है वो हमने कॉन्ट्रास्ट किया चाइना से, emphasizing the need for domestic capacity building and less dependence on liberalized trade alone. अब हमने 1991 में रिफॉर्म्स तो ले आए, एलपीजी रिफॉर्म्स तो ले आए, लेकिन हमने इस आर्टिकल में क्या कहा है कि हमने बहुत जल्दी शिफ्ट कर दिया टुवर्ड्स लिबरलाइजेशन एंड हमने अपने जो डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज है उनको डेवलप नहीं किया. दैट इज व्हाई वी आर लैग बिहाइंड. यानी कि हमें फोकस करना चाहिए था डोमेस्टिक कैपेबिलिटी बिल्डिंग में, और हमने बहुत ज्यादा डिपेंड कर दिया किस पे, लिबरलाइज्ड ट्रेड पे. दैट इज व्हाट दे आर सेइंग. वी आर कंट्रास्टिंग आवर इकोनॉमिक पाथ विद चाइनाज इकोनॉमिक पाथ, एंड हम यहाँ पे क्या कह रहे हैं कि देयर इज अ नीड फॉर डोमेस्टिक capability building, there's a need for domestic capacity building rather than depending on liberalized trade. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे इंडिया को क्रिटिसाइज किया गया है कि इंडिया ने बहुत ज्यादा क्विकली अबैंडन कर दिया अपनी इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसीज को अंडर ग्लोबल प्रेशर. Yes, we were under global pressure during 1990s. Our BOP situation was very bad. We were in a very vulnerable position at that point of time. बट वहां पे ग्लोबल प्रेशर की वजह से हमने बहुत जल्दी अपने इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसीज है उनको अबैंडन कर दिया था. And that is why this article emphasizes that there is a need for a self-reliant approach. And हमें ये चाइना के ऊपर, जो चाइना का सक्सेस जो मॉडल है उसके ऊपर हमें इसे डिपेंड करना चाहिए. तो हमने अपनी इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी को बहुत जल्दी अबैंडन कर दिया था, फोकसिंग ओनली ऑन लिबरलाइज्ड ट्रेड. ठीक है, आफ्टर 1991 इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स. बट चाइना ऑन द अदर हैंड लिबरलाइज्ड ट्रेड कॉस्ट 1991 में liberalization, privatization, globalization, new economic policy. Have you not heard about new economic policy? ये अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ा है सो रीड अबाउट इट बिकॉज दिस इज द वेरी बेस। तो 1991 से पहले वी वर काइंड ऑफ अ क्लोज्ड इकोनॉमी जहाँ पे हम ट्रेड ज्यादा नहीं करते थे। 1991 में हम रिफॉर्म्स लेकर आए जिसमें हम लिबरलाइज किया, हमने प्राइवेटाइज किया, हमने ग्लोबलाइज किया, यानी कि हमने फॉरेन ट्रेड को बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ाया एकदम से। दैट इज व्हाट दिस मीन्स, ओके, इन शॉर्ट। सो जस्ट रीड अबाउट इट दिस इन डिटेल, बट इन शॉर्ट वी हैव लिबरलाइज्ड ट्रेड। हमने ट्रेड करना आसान कर दिया, इंटरनेशनल हमने काफी ज्यादा अपना ट्रेड बढ़ा दिया। दैट इज व्हाट दिस इज टॉकिंग अबाउट, कि हमने बहुत जल्दी अपने इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी को अबैंडन कर दिया एंड वी मूव टूवर्ड्स लिबरलाइज्ड ट्रेड टू सून। ठीक है। But China, on the other hand, it protected its domestic industries and उन्होंने क्या किया, tried to build a strong manufacturing capacity। तो open up करने से पहले उन्होंने focus किया कि वो अपने domestic industries को protect करें, manufacturing capacity बढ़ाएं। And that is what this article is talking about, that we also should follow this path। इंडिया का जीडीपी पर कैपिटा अगर हम देखें, इट लैग्स बिहाइंड इट्स पीयर्स लाइक चाइना एंड वियतनाम। अब हमने कुछ दिनों पहले ही भी सॉ एन आर्टिकल जहां पे जो इंडिया का पर कैपिटा इनकम है एज कंपेयर टू दोज कंट्रीज हु आर आल्सो हैविंग अ हाई डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड। हमने ये आर्टिकल देखा था कि नहीं देखा था, कि आर कंट्री डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड इज वेरी हाई, बट इन कॉन्ट्रास्ट टू दोज कंट्रीज जब उनका डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड बहुत हाई था तब उनका पर कैपिटा इनकम बहुत ज्यादा हाई था, एंड कंपेयर टू दैट our country's per capita income is comparatively very low as of now। यहाँ पे भी उसी की बात कर रहे हैं कि अब हमारी की जो जीडीपी पर कैपिटा है वो लैग बिहाइंड कर रही है हमारे पीयर्स से। इसीलिए इस आर्टिकल में क्या एम्फसाइज किया है, दैट वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी, fostering local innovation, local manufacturing, and we need to draw lessons from China's experience। ठीक है, that means India needs to reimagine its global trade strategy, reduce over dependence on imported goods। बिकॉज हमारे जियोपॉलिटिकल टेंशन इस तरह से है कि अगर हम बहुत ज्यादा रिलाई करेंगे, गिवन कि वर्ल्ड ओवर प्रोटेक्शनिज्म बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ रहा है, तो उससे हमें ही नुकसान हो सकता है। दैट इज वाई वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन डोमेस्टिक लोकल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन आवर इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी। ठीक है, आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दिस। इफ यू हैव, लेट्स ट्राई एंड सॉल्व दिस question according to Arun Maira's article। So this article is written by Arun Maira। What key lesson should India learn from China regarding economic strategy? Increase dependence on FDI, prioritize quick liberalization over domestic capacity, adopt strong industrial policy before liberalizing trade, focus solely on agricultural exports for growth। Quickly give me the answer, all of you, all those who are watching the video, I want you to quickly give me the answer। There are so many of you who are attending the class and I want all of you to participate। Absolutely correct, Anurag, Manish, Kaustav, Rahul, Nehal, Prachi, Romil, very good। Adopt strong industrial policies before liberalizing trade। ठीक है, चलिए next। US tries to crush the AI ambitions of China with a crackdown on chips। अब यहाँ पे कौन सी चिप्स की बात हो रही है? नॉट खाने वाले चिप्स, ओके, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स हियर। ठीक है, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स हियर। यस चेतन, राइट, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स ओवर हियर। तो यहाँ पे यूएस क्या कोशिश कर रहा है कि चाइना, अब वी नो दैट चाइना इज इमर्जिंग इन दिस एआई रेस, है ना। चाइना इज डूइंग अ लॉट बेटर इन दिस एआई रेस, काफी ज्यादा आगे जा रहा है। तो अब यूएस क्या कर रहा है, वो जो ये चिप्स है, ये सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स हैं, इनको रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहा है कि ये चाइना तक ना पहुंचे, ताकि इनको इनकी जो ये जो एआई रेस है उसमें ये डिसरप्ट हो जाए। दैट इज व्हाट दिस इज टॉकिंग अबाउट। ठीक है, सो लेट्स सी। सो इसमें क्या है कि यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स दे आर ट्राइंग टू इम्पोज स्ट्रिक्ट एक्सपोर्ट कंट्रोल्स ऑन एडवांस्ड सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स। जो सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स बनाई जा रही हैं बाय अमेरिकन कंपनीज लाइक एनवीडिया एंड एएमडी, इनको रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहे हैं कि ये चाइना में एक्सपोर्ट नहीं होंगे। एंड सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स राइट नाउ आर वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट। This kind of a strategic asset, you can say a strategic asset for all the countries, given the move towards digitization, given the move towards uh, you know uh, uh, electrification, given the move towards एआई, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, तो ये सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स का बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा रोल है। हाँ, तो यस चेतन, जैसे डीप सीक है चाइना की एआई स्टार्टअप, उसने तो मतलब हमने बहुत सारे आर्टिकल्स देखे थे कि बहुत ज्यादा चैलेंज कर दिया जो एग्जिस्टिंग ट्रेडिशनल जो प्लेयर्स थे उनको चैलेंज किया, राइट? ओके, ओके, फाइन। सो what is the aim of this thing? To curb China's rapid progress in artificial intelligence. We've already seen the rise of DeepSeek, right? So because of this, China's rapid progress in artificial intelligence, we are trying to control this. US is trying to control this, and how is it trying to control it? By restricting access to these AI chips. Like Nvidia's H20 and AMD's MI308. We are going to restrict these chips. ठीक है? Fine, it reflects Washington's broader geopolitical push. So we know that China and US relations are staggering right now, especially because of this trade war. Right. So now what is US doing? It is trying to control the semiconductor chips export to China so that China's AI race can be obstructed and so that China does not perform well in this AI race. Okay, so we are trying to block China's access to cutting edge AI technology, which is important for future military and strategic dominance. So that is why I told you that the semiconductor chips are very important. These semiconductor chips are very important from future point of view. From this, because this is a strategic asset and it is important for each and every one of us. Fine. And these are expected to affect companies like Alibaba, Tencent, ByteDance. These companies are going to be affected by this restriction. Okay. So if you understood, let's try and solve this question. What is the primary objective of the US restrictions on AI chips like Nvidia's H20 and AMD's MI308? What is the primary objective? To reduce reliance on American chip manufacturers, to increase AI collaboration with Chinese companies, to promote fair trade in semiconductor equipment, to curb China's progress in advanced AI technologies. So, absolutely correct, all of you. D is the correct answer, to curb China's progress in advanced AI technologies. Yes, right, absolutely correct. Fine. So next we have India ups vigil on likely import surge amid US-China trade tiff. Now what we are talking about over here is that India has heightened the trade surveillance. Now if I briefly explain you this, if I give you the crux of this news, what they are saying is that now India is going to increase its surveillance on trade, on those aspects. Now we have seen from the these past few articles, also in the past few live mint analysis, we've seen that because of this US China trade war, everything these they are going to divert. US is also going to divert its exports. China is also going to divert its exports to other countries, and one of the biggest destination is India. One of the biggest destination is India, जहाँ पे US and China, especially China, is going to dump the exports which it used to give it to give it to US. अब इतने ज़्यादा export restrictions के बाद now they are going to dump it in countries like India. Right, we have seen this problem that this is going to happen, and this might even disrupt the domestic industries. So this is a negative aspect of this thing, right? So that is why what has India done now? It has heightened its trade surveillance because there is a potential flood of diverted Chinese exports. Because of this potential flood of diverted Chinese exports, what China is going to do is, through different countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, through these different countries, China is going to try and dump its goods in India. Okay, because of this US-China tariff war. That is why government has formed this panel, which panel import monitoring committee. ठीक है, so government has formed this panel जिसका नाम है import monitoring committee. So it is going to monitor the imports which are coming into India. तो बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से we are going to monitor that what kind of imports are coming in India, what kind of Chinese goods are coming in India. because China may not directly supply it to us, but it is going to reroute the products to India. So through third parties like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Nepal, via these third parties, China might divert the goods, Chinese goods, to our country. That is why we have this import monitoring committee, which is going to monitor the kind of goods which are coming into India. Okay, so we are going to track key Chinese exports, especially electronics, machinery, textiles, toys, and solar equipment, because these are the most affected, parts. Because of these are the most affected parts because of the U.S. tariffs. So, यहाँ पे we are talking about that we are going to monitor these kind of products whichever are coming into India, because we have seen that US is imposing steep tariffs, 25 to 145%, and then China has also retaliated by 125% levy on US goods, right? Then China and US are rerouting goods. Now this is what is the problem. China and US are rerouting their goods which were meant for each other, but now they are rerouting it and they're going to dump it in countries like India. That is a major drawback that we are going to face. That is why government aims not just to monitor but to prevent any diversion of goods that could hurt the Indian manufacturers. That is the prime reason behind this. Okay, so the question is, what is the primary purpose of India's import monitoring committee amid US-China trade tensions? To increase exports to the US, to promote free trade agreements with China, to track diverted Chinese goods entering India, to impose new tariffs on American electronics. Of course, China, Nihal, India is taking action. Obviously, right now also it is taking action by forming this import monitoring committee. Nihal, this is this is an action which it has already started taking, and India will take an action if China dumps. Obviously, okay, we have other duties as well. We have like anti-dumping duties. Anti-dumping duties. These are kind of tariffs which are imposed on those countries which try to dump their goods. Okay, so we have India might take. Let's see what is India going to do in that case. But right now, one step India has already taken by forming this import monitoring committee to monitor what kind of goods are coming in, so that we can take strategic solutions towards this. Okay, fine. Okay, Nihar, Kaustav, is that clear? Absolutely correct, all of you. To track diverted Chinese goods entering India. C is the correct answer. Good. Okay. Then Nifty 50 Sensex surge over 7% since since 7th April low as FPI's return. Now, in the previous analysis, we had seen that stock market was falling, a lot because of these FPI outflows, because of foreign portfolio investor outflows. What was happening is our stock market was an all-time low, right? But previously, because of this, we also saw that because of this 90-day pause, that tariff that US tariffs have been paused for 90 days. Because of that, stock market performed well because of this pause, right? So again, this news is related to that only, that Indian stock market, with both Nifty 50 and Sensex, they rose over 7%. So they were at an all time low during April 7th, and now we can see that they have performed well, and that is because of the paused tariff of Donald Trump for 90 days. So 90 days ke liye Donald Trump has paused the tariffs, and that is why so these were announced on April 2, but now these foreign portfolio investors, they are coming back to India. They are again investing in Indian equities. Fine. So banking, financial, and telecom sectors have performed well, right? So Nifty 50 rose 7.43%. Sensex also surged 1.96%. FPIs have been increased in India 15,492 crore over 3 days. So there is a renewed investor confidence we can see. Then RBI is also, decreasing the interest rates. So recently only by 25 basis points. Right now it is 6%. The repo rate, the policy rate is at 6%. So by 25 basis points it had reduced. Fine, and top performing stocks is this ICICI Bank, Reliance Industries, HDFC Bank, Bharti Airtel. All these are the best performing stocks. So, what is the main reason behind the recent 7% surge in Nifty 50 and Sensex as reported in the news? Return of FPIs and policy easing, strong corporate earnings, increase in oil prices, or rise in gold imports. So, what is the answer to this question? Quickly give me the answer. What is the main reason behind this surge in the stock market? Yes, absolutely correct. Return of FPIs and policy easing. ठीक है? Good. Yes, both of these reasons. Karmik, please give me your name first of all. You're absolutely correct. 90-day pause is one major reason, obviously, but yes, the CCYB, the buffer that you're talking about, that can also be one of the reason. Okay, that can also be the reason. So next is IIP data to be released in 20 days from April. So now we have this index of industrial production. First of all, you are going to tell me, I have a question for all of you. What do you mean by index of industrial production? First, tell me what is this IIP, index of industrial production? What is it? What do you mean by this? What is this index related to? Quickly give me the answer. Chetan, we are going to see this detail that who publishes it. It is basically CSO. You can say that is what publishes under MOSP, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Okay. Okay, Chetan. So Manish is saying changes in production. Okay. Uh, measures change in physical volume of industrial production. Okay, Anurag. Costa says how much production is happening in India. Okay, measures the change in the volume of industrial production over time. ठीक है कार्मिक physical evaluation of production over a time period. Okay, 8 core sectors also. Yes, Costa, very good. 8 core sectors as well. Measures level of production and capacity in industries. Yes, Chetan, MOSP is NSO, right? Basically an economic indicator. Yes, Prachi, right. So index of industrial production, कितनी industrial production हो रही है, how much, there's production happening in a particular time frame. And what is the time frame? What is the time frame? Anyone? What is the reference period जिसमें हम देखते हैं कि IIP is calculated? So this is basically we measure the production that is happening in the country in a specific time period. How many days is it? Now they are talking about this. This article is talking about that this IIP data will be released in 28 days from April. So within 28 days, after every 28 days, 28th day of every month, IIP is going to be released. ठीक है IIP data to be released in 28 days. They are reducing this time to 28 days. Can you tell me that before this, how many days, after how many days was IIP being published? Tell me. Yes, so before it was 42 days. Yes, Costa, before it was 42 days, and now we are saying that we are going to reduce this time frame to 28 days. ठीक है? Fine, this is what it is talking about. Okay, so let's see. The Indian government will now release this IIP data within 28 days. It was being released for 42 days. The earlier practice was 42 days, but now it will be released on the 28th day of every month. And why? To improve data governance, to align with global best practices, to help economists, policymakers, researchers, so that they can have more timely data, given the advanced technology that we have, so that we have this, timely data. So it will be released on 28th of every month at 4 p.m. Okay? And the timeline is reduced from 42 to 28 days for faster economic decision making, better data governance, and the first quick estimates are going to be released, and then final estimates are also going to be released. And this is going to align with international standards like UN and IMF. Okay? Now, from this, we need to understand what IIP is. This is your static portion that I have mentioned over here. Many times we have seen this IIP in news. We keep reading about the articles, and that is why from your static portion, the index of industrial production becomes very important. So let's cover this index. You might get a question whenever you get MCQs. You can get link. You can get it linked to the static portion, and then the question can be asked. Okay, so IIP, this is a key economic indicator. It measures the short-term changes in the volume of production. So because we are seeing it within a time frame of 28 days, that means we are seeing it for short term only. So short term may how this value or volume of production is changing across industrial sectors. That is what is this IIP talking about. कि short term में कितनी production change हो रही है. That is what IIP is. It is released monthly by CSO. So we have the Central Statistic Organization. See, recently CSO and NSSO, they have been merged. They have been merged to form NSO. So wherever there is written CSO or NSO, any of this is going to be correct. Okay, so it is released by NSO under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Very important. Directly in your MCQs, this statement can be there. And what is the current base year? 2011-12. Somebody had given me this answer of base year. I think somebody had written it in the comment section. So 2011-12 is the current base year, and this base year was revised in 2017. So previous in 2017 till 2017, the base year was 2004-5, and it had been changed to 2011-12. And what are the major sectors that are covered in IIP? Manufacturing, mining, and electricity, and they are given certain weights as well. Fine. uh, Manufacturing 77.6%, mining 14.4%, electricity 8%. So please remember this weightage also. Maximum weightage is given to the manufacturing sector and least weightage to the electricity. Okay, so these are the three industrial sectors that are covered: manufacturing, mining, and electricity. Okay. Cost servicing, if it goes above 50, then expansion. No. That is your purchasing managers index. Cost, you are getting confused. That is your purchasing managers index. When we talk about PMI, purchasing managers index, here we are surveying the top industrialists. We are surveying the companies. We are surveying the industries to see that what are their business expectations. Whether the business expectations are positive, it is going to expand or it is going to contract. That is PMI. You are getting confused. In that case, if it is more than 50, it is expansion, less than 50, contraction. So that is purchasing managers index. IIP is different from PMI. Okay, Kaustav? This we are talking about IIP. Three sectors are covered: manufacturing, mining, and electricity. Maximum weightage is given to manufacturing, least weightage to electricity. And there are 8 core industries also, which are included, and they contribute to around 40% of the IIP weight. So we have 8 core industries also. I have explained you also how to remember triple C, friends. This way you can remember. This is your acronym that you can remember. Okay, so we have you can say coal, cement, crude oil, coal, cement, crude oil, fertilizers, refinery, electricity, natural gas, and steel. So just remember this acronym triple C, friends, and you will be able to remember this. Fine, these are the 8 core industries. These are the 8 core industries. ठीक है? Fine. हाँ, 40.27%. Right. Good morning, Chandra Kumar. ठीक है? And IIP further classifies production into 6 subcategories. So there are 6 subcategories as well. First is the primary goods. What are primary goods? These are basic inputs like coal, electricity, fertilizers, the primary goods that act as base for other manufacturing, right? Then we have capital goods, machinery and tools used in production. We have intermediate goods, like semi-processed items like yarn and chemicals. These are called intermediate goods. Then we have infrastructure or construction goods like cement, bricks, cables. Then consumer durables like appliances, garments, vehicles that can last for a long period of time. And then we have consumer non-durables which do not last, which are not perishable, which do not last for a long period of time like food, medicines and toiletries. ठीक है? And where is this IIP data used? It is used by government departments, finance ministry, by RBI, private firms also, for monitoring the industrial trends. Then it helps in quarterly estimation of GVA in GDP. So who's going to tell me the difference between gross value added and GDP, gross domestic product? What is the difference between gross value added and GDP, GVA and GDP? Who's going to tell me the difference between this? Here you can see that it helps in quarterly estimation of GVA in GDP. So give me the answer. So Manisha saying GDP is total value. Nihal is saying GVA is individual sector. Karmik says sector versus total. GDP is overall picture. Okay, Nihal. GVA is value added by particular sector. Exactly. Very good. Very good, all of you. So when we talk about gross value added, it is sector specific. This is sector specific. That means we are talking about the contribution of primary sector, the contribution of secondary sector, the contribution of tertiary sector. We are only seeing one particular sector of the economy and what value it is adding. That is GVA. When we add GVA of primary sector, GVA of secondary sector, GVA of tertiary sector, when we add these GVAs, then we get GDP. So summation GVA of each sector. Addition, adding all, we get GDP. So can we say that GDP is a broader measure and a part of it is GVA? Fine. So don't forget this difference. GVA is sector specific and from a production end. Exactly. It helps in this IIP helps in economic planning, policy formulation as well. Okay, so I hope you've understood this. This is how you have to link your static portion with the current portion. Okay, so in current we saw that IIP is in news. We have reduced the time frame. Now when it is going to be released, 28 days from April. So from which month will the Indian government begin releasing IIP data? Within 28 days of the reference month, January, April, June, December. Very, very easy question, very direct question. It is also mentioned over here. It is also written over here. So I want all of you to quickly give me the answer. Alright, B is the correct answer from April 2025. ठीक है. Fitch cuts India GDP growth forecasts. Now again we have Fitch ratings also. Recently we saw Moody's ratings. Acha, if you remember, if you have seen the live mint analysis, what is the forecast by Moody? Revised forecast. Revised forecast for India's growth for this year, for financial year 25. What is the revised forecast? Who's going to tell me? We have done this already. According to Moody's, we have this news related to Fitch today, but in the previous class, we saw Moody's ratings also. Not 6.5, Nihal. Not 6.5. Not 6.5, not 6.7. Karmik and Anurag have given me the correct answer, 6.1%. So from 6.5, 6.4%, Moody's has revised it to 6.1% for this year. Yes, yes, cost of 6.1. Yes, Rahul, 6.1%. ठीक है? So 6.1%. Fine. So यहाँ पे we have Fitch ratings. Fitch cuts India's GDP growth forecast. Now let's see what is Fitch is also a credit rating agency. It has revised down the GDP growth estimates or forecasts for India for both financial year 25 and 26 by 10 basis points. So now India's economy, according to them, is going to grow at 6.2% in financial year 25. So they had forecasted 6.3% for financial year 25 and 6.5% for 26. Now they have reduced it to 6.2 and 6.4%. ठीक है? So Moody's has revised it to 6.1%, Fitch to 6.2% for this current year. Okay, and because of these global growth outlook downgrade, because global growth is going to slow down. That is why, in contrast to that, we have reduced this to 6.2% for this year and for 6.4% for the next year. Okay. Then CPI based inflation is also expected to be 3.9% by end of 2025. So they are forecasting that inflation is going to ease and it is going to be at 3.9%. RBI's policy rate, it might, by this year end, it might be 5.5%. So with 50 basis points further, maybe by 25 basis points, RBI might even reduce the interest rate to 5.5% by the end of this year. This also they have forecasted. And right now, currently, it is at 6%. We already know this. Fine. So, because of US tariff hikes, retaliations from China, that is why they have downgraded our growth forecast from 6.3, 6.4 to 6.2 and 6.4% for 25 and 26. So, according to Fitch Ratings revised forecast, what is India's expected GDP growth for financial year 26? What is the answer? 6.2, 6.3, 6.5 or 6.4? They're not asking for financial year 25. They're asking for financial year 26. For financial year 26. What is the answer? Not for financial year 25. I'm again saying for financial year 26. Read the question very, very carefully. Nihal, the value is reducing day by day because of the global tensions, the geopolitical tensions. For example, because over a period of time they are assessing the impact of tariffs. They are trying to see the impact of tariffs and they are trying to estimate it that if these tariffs come into place, then what is going to happen? Given the global slowdown or the global growth decline, how is it going to impact India? After every calculation and all, then they give us these ratings. Okay, Nihal? Okay. So the answer to this question is D, 6.4%, because they have not asked about financial year 25. If there was, if it was written financial year 25, then your answer is going to be 6.2%. Okay. Okay, so you have to read the question very carefully. Next is gold retailers push deals as price jumps. So let's see what this is about. We have seen that gold prices have surged a lot because the stock market was declining. So people started investing in safer assets like gold, and now we see that the value of gold was also, rising a lot. So there was a steep rise in gold prices, up by 23.84% in the past year and 38% over 2 years. So now retailers, they are introducing attractive offers to retain customer interest. Now, in the 1 or 2 days back, we also saw that these people are, they are booking their profits. People who were investing in gold, they were booking their profits, right, in gold. We saw this news. So now they are saying that those retailers, retailers in the sense, those you can say jewelers and all, they are introducing attractive offers so that they can retain the customer interest. So leading jewelers like Tanishq, Senco Gold, Malabar Gold and Diamonds, they are offering discounts, exchange benefits, flexible pricing plans so that they can encourage buying because of this cautious consumer sentiment, because now they have started booking their profits in gold also. Okay, so that is why we have this news. 24 karat gold prices increased 23.84% in the past year, 38% over 2 years. Then Tanishq also introduced purchase plans like Riva Golden Advantage, Best Gold Rate. Senco Gold offers 0% deduction on gold exchange. So if you go and exchange your gold, then there is 0% deduction. Malabar Gold and Diamonds provides up to 25% discount. Consumers are increasingly exchanging or selling old gold to due to high prices. That is why they are trying to retain. So what was happening, the main reason is this, because they were booking their profits because of they because they were selling their gold to get profits a lot, because the prices of gold have increased a lot. That is why people started selling their gold to get that money. And that is why now what these retailers are doing, they are bringing in discount packages or new purchase plans. Okay, so by how much have 24 karat gold prices risen over the past 2 years? As per this article, 23.84, 30%, 38%, or 40%. What is the answer to this question? Quickly give me the answer. They're asking that by how much have these 24 karat gold prices risen over the past 2 years? Past 2 years, not only in the previous year. Again, read the question very, very carefully. Read the question very, very carefully. This is where you are doing wrong, you guys. You're just reading it blindly. They're asking over the past 2 years. Again, read this here. 24 karat gold prices increased 23.84% in the past year and 38% over 2 years. So what is the answer going to be in this question? Reading the question is very, very, very important, all of you. Fine. So the answer is going to be 38%. If they were asking not in the past 2 years, over the past year only, then your answer was 23.84%. Okay, so why am I bringing such kind of questions? So that you can know that you have to read the question very, very carefully before attempting it. These minute differences is going to cost you marks. Okay? Then highway expansion struggles despite center's capital expenditure push. तो यहाँ पे क्या है कि capex push तो काफी है government का, but still we are not seeing any highway expansion, right? So the capital expenditure has been increased by the government, but still India's highway expansion is facing challenges. Why? Due to slow progress in land acquisition. What are the reasons? Slow progress in land acquisition, utility shifting, pre-construction activities. Because of these reasons, what is happening is that highway expansion is taking a toll. It is not increasing. So what is the aim of the government? To construct 100 kilometer of highways per day. To construct 100 kilometer of highways per day. A sharp increase from current 30 kilometer per day. So right now it is 30 kilometer per day, but now government is aiming for 100 kilometer of highways per day. There are certain bottlenecks, there are certain issues because of this problem of land acquisition, utility shifting, construction activities. Okay, so if you see that it has been declining. So if you see highway construction in financial year 25 till February, it reached only 8330 kilometer. So the target was 12,000 kilometer, but we reached only 8330 kilometers, which is lower than this 9,000 kilometer also in the previous year. Okay, so then this project awards remained almost unchanged at around 4874 kilometer. So we can see that there is no major improvement. Fine. So peak construction in financial year 21, we had 13,000 kilometer of construction. It has fallen to 10,000 to 11,000 now. Okay, most project awards were under hybrid annuity model. What is this hybrid annuity model? See, whenever large scale construction of projects happen, large scale construction of projects, whenever they happen, we try to construct it through different models. There are different models for construction purposes for infrastructure projects. One of that is hybrid annuity model. We have PPP model. We have BOT, build, operate, transfer model. There are certain models through which we try to build those projects so that the burden is not only on the government completely. Sometimes with the help of the private sector, we try to do some construction. So can anyone tell me what is this hybrid annuity model? What is hybrid annuity model? How do we, how is this construction happening through this? So this is kind of a public-private partnership wherein the cost is borne by both the private sector also and the public sector also. So in this hybrid annuity model, the government bears 40% of the project cost and the private developer. So what does government do? It gives the private firm or the private, the private firm or the private, you can say the private sector, that you build this. We are going to incur 40% of the cost. We are going to give 40% of the project cost, and you have to develop, say you have to develop that road, you have to develop the highway, and you have to contribute 60% of the equity, 60% of the money you have to contribute, and we will cover 40% of the project cost. So through this model, most of these projects, road construction projects, are mostly done through this hybrid annuity model. Okay, then we have build, operate, transfer projects as well. So what is this going to, what happens under this BOT project? We give the project to the private sector. They are going to build, they are going to operate for some time, and then they are going to transfer the ownership back to the government. This is what happens. Okay, a hybrid annuity model is a type of public private partnership. Kaustav, public private partnership is a broader term. There are different ways through which public and private sector can collaborate with each other. It can be 50-50, it can be 40-60, it can be 60-40 ratio. ठीक है? So where private firms bear full risk and recover via tolls, build, operate, transfer, you can say that first they have built the road, then they are going to collect the toll as well. Once they have recovered their money through the tolls, then they are going to transfer it back to the government. That is what is your build, operate, transfer route. So we have these projects also, and these projects saw fewer allocations. But the authorities say that lower kilometer construction should not be equated with slower progress, because these authorities, what justification have they given? That don't say that there is a slow progress. The highways have become just more complex. We are focusing on complex highway. So we have 6-lane highways and all. The it has become very complex to develop these highways. We are going with a higher lane highways, access controlled expressways. That is why it is just complex. It is not a slower progress. That is what the authorities are saying. But we can see the problems are slow land acquisition, compensation payments, environmental clearances. These are the issues that is happening. And now our aim is 100 kilometer of highway construction per day. So such kind of a question can be asked. Then what is the target of the government? Okay, under 2047, Vision 2047, the target is to build 50,000 kilometer of access controlled highways. So this is the overall target, that 50,000 kilometer of highway to be built by 2047. Okay, so what is the new daily highway construction target set by the government as per the article? 100 kilometer per day, 75 kilometer per day, 50 kilometer per day, or 30 kilometer per day? Again, read the question very carefully and give me the answer. Again, very easy question, very direct question. 100 kilometer per day is the correct answer. Very good. Okay. Now very important. UP targets $61.5 billion export push by 2030. So Uttar Pradesh, which is India's second largest state economy, it is India's second largest state economy. It is trying to revamp its export policy, and it is trying to boost its export. So they have brought in a new export policy for 2025 to 30, the state government, so that it can triple its outbound shipments. Outbound shipments मतलब बाहर जाने वाली shipments, and target emerging markets. They're going to target emerging markets like Latin America and Eastern Europe. So they are going to target these areas, and they're going to triple their outbound shipments. This is for 25 to 30. And what is the aim of UP? To increase the exports from $20.5 billion to 61.5 billion by 2030. Fine, this is the target. To $61.5 billion in 2030. Remember this target of UP. Okay? New export policy for 25-30 is under development. $61.5 billion is the target by 2030, and we are going to target Latin America and Eastern Europe. This policy includes providing capital subsidies, logistic supports, export promotion fund, and UP has contributed 5% to India's total goods exports in 23-24. That is why this policy becomes important. So, what is the export target set by UP for 2030 under its new proposed policy? Till 2030, how much export target is to be reached? $45 billion, $30 billion, $61.5 billion, or $75 billion? Quickly give me the answer. Very easy question. Very good, all of you. Very, very good. C is the correct answer. $61.5 billion. Okay, so that is all from my side. These were the important articles that I wanted to discuss with you. I have tried to link the static portion with the current portion, and I really hope that you have revised these things. Just download this PDF and revise it. Okay, and then it will be clear to you. Just this is how you have to read the news. The idea behind these classes is to teach you how to connect your current with your static, how to look for articles which are going to become important from exam point of view. This is how you have to select articles. These kind of articles you have to select, and this is how you have to link with the static portion and then cover your syllabus. Fine. This way you are covering static portion also, and you are going through the current aspects as well, and this is also going to help you recall better. Fine. You too, Anurag, have a good day. You're welcome. And if there's anything that you want to ask, you can ask me. And if you want to connect with me beyond this live mint analysis class, then you can join my Telegram group. Okay, the name of my group is Economics with Mannat Educator. Economics with Mannat Educator. Fine, just type Mannat Educator and you will have access to my group. Fine. You're welcome, Rahul, Costa, Prachi. You too, guys, have a great day. Just connect with me on Telegram if you have not yet connected. And for those who are not a part of the group, I keep sharing some important current affairs and important stuff in that group as well. And you can always connect with me for any doubt. Fine. That is all from my side. I'll just wait for 1 minute. If there's any question that you want to ask, any one of you can ask me. Otherwise, I'm going to end the session here. Fine. Okay, then bye all of you. Take care.